How you doing down there, Bobby? Don't give me that attitude, you guys. I'm doing it all for you. This is nuts.
I don't know why I let you guys talk me into this. If my dad finds out, he's gonna nuke my entire existence.
Up the element. Or,
I hope this works.
how about science slumber parties? Hey! I'm not gonna get...
Some people settle for the typical thing, living all their lives waiting in the wings. It ain't a question of if, just a matter of time. I'm moving to the front of the line. Once you're watching every move that I make, you gotta believe that I gotta win. Somebody say no, gonna stand up. You know it's me.
A little smoke.
If I could make you stop and take a look at me instead of just walking by. There's nothing that I wouldn't do if it was getting you to notice. All I need is half a chance, a second thought, a second glance will prove I got whatever it takes. A piece of cake.
Hey, welcome back everybody. A really long intense rating that somehow it's just not there in my phone, and gave me a chance. You know, we gotta look at the positive on a lot of things. 44 on the clock, and I still need to get this message out to you. I feel it's gonna be really big. A lot of you may have heard it before. A lot of you, this will be the first time you hear it. So I'll talk about that real quick. 101 again, eyes landed on the clock. So first thing, alright, I'll try to get in the reading and kind of add that in at the same time to cut down on time. So we have, this is going to be a divine masculine, what he's going through right now, and how he feels about us, okay? But there's going to be so much more along with the messages that I have learned about divine masculine and generational curses that were possibly released upon them. 144 on the clock. Alright, so we have the patience card. We also have the omen card for orthomancy. And I feel so sad that that reading didn't, it's just, I don't know. I even tested it out trying to see how that happened, and I couldn't believe that that was gone. It's like almost impossible, but it's gone, and I'm going to retry it. So through the omen, what I got through this card, and we have the Chariot, the Lovers, Death, Nine of Wands, Seven of Wands, Page of Cups, and the King. So divine masculine has basically taking the reins of two opposing forces. Also, this looks like a cannon. I had gotten the images of shooting fast like a cannon, because the omen that he saw or met is you, and that is represented by the Lovers here. Notice there's an X on that heart. However, see the magic that they already are manifesting around them. These two, they look like out of the secular world, more from the old way, almost like pagan, to pagan people, or to pure people, okay? And the reason why I wanted to, and I think why I deleted, is because I touched on some things that are about these ancestral curses that are causing them to go through a dark night of soul type of situation again, to understand where these energies are coming from, and that there is something to understand within them because they have been cloaked. They didn't realize that. So it might be choppy the way I explain it, but try and follow along with me. So here's the death card. You know, this also brings rebirth, so don't look at it as a bad way. It's actually really good. Some things need to end. Perspectives, limitations, old beliefs, his and yours. You know, an indication clearly. A big one is that when you come into contact and then you guys separate, that there's still stuff to sort out. Things that he wants to, for example, go into a internal rehab, if you will. And those are also runes. I realized in the last reading you'll know where this came from, mysteriously or magically, if you will. And this is basically where he's at in the internal state, looking in at home, looking for advice also. But these are runes, so if any of you understand these, feel free to let us know in the comments. Also, we have the I Ching change card. That energy is present too, so lots of changes are happening. Don't think that things can't change at the drop of a hat, okay? Now, there's so much to cover, so I will be bouncing back and forth. So yeah, this death card, it may have been that you had been in contact with your twin and your masculine and they dropped out again, or this is the first time you touched ground like with each other in contact and now separation. Regardless, there is going to be a renewal, and that let him that time. Don't bother him. You know, it's very important that you're not around when he goes within the magic forest, if you will, of his heart and soul. So see if you look. So let me get through this card first. Since I've already gone through this spread for about an hour this morning, I have so much to tell you guys, so forgive me if I'm bouncing back and forth, but you will get all this information, okay? You will. So just let me get through this. All the death card. Okay, so this is touching in on what I wanted to tell you guys about the ancestral curses. So think of this skeleton and this face on the ground as their ancestors, and also people around them who they thought or think they're waking up though because they met you. That's the omen. People around them have been thinking or trying, actually, either consciously, subconsciously, and ancestors are trying to put intentions in their mind, clouding their judgment, making them confused, because, see, if they keep him in that family, not to break away and make, say, a new family. Alright, let me just even go back even further. So families weren't, in our generations now, I'm a millennial, and it's rare to see a family that's still together, not a modern family. One that still has, you know, two parents, a matriarch and a patriarch, and it's still working in that way for like 20 plus years. It's actually a rarity in this day and age. So a lot of male or masculines come from not a broken home, if you will, but one where they've seen their father and admire this father, if not for this whole time until now, maybe possibly for a huge chunk of time, they had something to see and adore and emulate. Now, this father, if you go back to their bloodline, that father's bloodline, they go, and mine is of Scottish descent and Irish, so that is definitely fitting to my twin. When you go far back enough, even Greco-Roman periods, where the man would go out into war and the woman would be left, and that was viewed, and it was a really big blow because the male was the main breadwinner. And the women then resorted to being by the campfire, and even in ancient Egypt, the woman is the matriarch, has the matriarchal crown, and that's where even now in Egypt, the woman is referred to very highly as the one with the power. Now, so in divine masculine's father's bloodline, deep bloodline, they had to go out and go in through war, and they had made different families. Okay, so there is a link I want to definitely share with you guys, an explanation on this that's deeper, but I need to at least try to get you guys to understand. Like, my group will definitely know this, because Divine Feminines, this will help you understand the confusion and the design. So, okay, back to the history lesson. So, yeah, they go out and make different families and are awarded through going to war with land, right? So that's why a lot of people are now realizing they have brothers and sisters and mothers, stepmothers, and all these things from different places. All right. So both lineages, bloodlines deeply have been affected and have to be conquered. Now, the ancestors of your divine masculine are having him confused. That's why he's going through a dark night of soul again once he met you, which was the mind, body, and soul embodiment of what he has been praying for and wanted. And now you know why you were confused and felt you couldn't even be around her divine masculine. It's because energies are clouding you, and you didn't even realize where these energies were coming from because you have been cloaked. You have had scales over your eyes. But now that the only thing that can, and they know this, they being the other powers. Remember, this is a spiritual warfare as well. This isn't just poppies and dandelions. You know, this stuff has corners like this. The energies, 11:11 on the clock, are real, and we're starting to understand, to see them. The vibes are back, and we can see clearly now. See, Divine Feminine isn't scared. This was your depiction, but also I'm seeing more Divine Masculine is ready to take on, blaze the trail. You know what I mean, if you will. And I think this is also where his retreat, the separation, is part of blazing the trail of understanding himself. And you will need patience, Divine Feminine, and to hold space, because he needs you right now. He doesn't need you to reach out. He doesn't need you to try to infringe your will on him, or impose any ideas, or motivate him, or restrict or anything. Try to convince him. Okay, all you need to do is have faith right now. This is you as well. Have faith, because you have set your healthy boundaries for your own strength. You know, things need to be right. It needs to be in divine timing. It needs to be clearly. There's things that we need to both work on and release, and or overcome, outgrow whatever struggles we have internally. All right. So we have the King of Cups here. This is who he ends up being. Whoever he asks for advice, there is yin and yang. There is positive in everything, you know. So even these people around him, say his mother or father, the people, his friends, maybe he thought that were had his best interests, or he's realizing that are not all doing things for the highest good, that is not righteous. But also, even these people are going to throw out some good nuggets for him without even knowing, in turn making him this King of Cups. Do you understand what I mean? So even though this whole generational curse to make him foggy has brought him into separation, but look at the beautiful design of what separation is meaning for us. Okay, trust. See, it's a time, an opportunity to give us a time of trust. and let these things change. Let him go through the changes. See, also fight for what's right and let nature take its course. Protect yourself. So this is what the course of action was. Someone shot fire like out of a cannon because of love, and going through a rebirth, fighting for what's right, understanding, taking stock of his own situation and accordingly acting, understanding generational ancestors and things, people around them may or may not be having his best interest, but that is being made clear. Okay? We have the time to retreat. See, during this retreat is when he is understanding this. So that's why we have the patience card as well, Divine Feminine. The bottom row was mostly for you, and then the last couple cards were how he feels about you. But real quick, I did want to mention that the reason why this also is happening 1:44 on the clock is because when we came together, the heart opened. And when your heart opens, you need the space to and the privacy to explore that without distraction. And at the same time, you allow yourself, Divine Masculine allows himself, and you have something to thank him for all of this. We are used to changes as being Divine Feminine. Like, I like to playfully make an example of us being in Wonderland for our years already, most of us, and have now become the vibe, the tone of it, still being our individual selves, yet we can, for example, sit on the branch like the Cheshire Cat and disappear in and out when all you hear is our mysterious, happy laughing, and that grin. So we've become playful with it. We've understood, almost gotten used to changes, but we've understood that this is happening because all has happened to instill these healthy boundaries and to show us the love of ourselves. And, again, showing his, he shows us our powers that we have through the ones that they have in themselves. So they are our mirror. We are his mirror. And it seems like when we came into contact, the most spiritually evolved message we've clearly gotten on the 3D conscious level is that we are aware of the investment and the commitment that is going to be taken, needed to be taken, once they are serious with us. And that's why they retreat, is because they know, and they don't want to mess up. They don't want to disappoint us. And through this whole thing, some can say they are disappointing us now. Wrong. This is a pivotal moment, experience, time, almost rewarded to us. And he could seriously be with you right now, Divine Feminine, and be using you, or been not trying to get himself better, but instead he's going towards his inner self to connect with that and align his outer self with that. And this is where you come in with Temperance. And that's where he is doing the same thing, really not too hot, not too cold type of thing. Two of Pentacles right here, also keeping it, not letting go, but also thinking of what's important, what is he, things will be illuminated. We have the Sun card, also Leo, and I believe the fears people will have to go through, both of us, people involved. The way he feels about you is the Ace of Wands. So your wands suit is your wants. So what he wants is you, a new beginning, and he also looks like he's going to have to use his good omens, his spirit animals, wolf, and both of you probably are going to be lone wolves for a while until you guys come back to each other. And that's probably the best idea, to learn, retreat within yourself. Don't need to introduce any other guys' energy into you right now, Divine Feminine, and literally into you is probably not a great idea, because Divine Masculine sees you now and thinks of the 10 of Pentacles. Look at this guy. It's just like, oh, hey, very friendly, right? and she's a little like, oh, very innocent and pure. Okay, and whereas before I asked what did he see us before, and he looked at us a little with apathetic, you know. He was also under the impression that he was a toxic individual and this is as good as it's going to get, and so you come around blind with a sack over your head because universe let you there. You were led by God, and you kind of look eager. You don't think you're going to be led to your demise, you know. You almost look, has a vibe of like holy matrimony, but the face on the person that this divine feminine, the squirrel in this picture, if you will, looks a little apathetic, and it's hard to have sympathy for someone who doesn't have empathy. But now, this is where divine feminine is another lesson I had in the last video, is that just because they didn't show empathy always doesn't mean that it's not there. Now you have to open your eyes to that, okay? Yeah. As long as you understood the generational curses that are being lifted by him meeting you and him working through his inner self, and understanding that the coming together is once he's in, he's in. He's not going to, it's a life thing. He doesn't want to mess this up. So he's going in and letting go and releasing of things that he has inner struggles with. Okay, so the people around him may have not been trying to get him to get what he is, his birthright. Okay, but since things are coming back into order now, this is even in the Bible, you guys. So, for example, let me get my notes real quick on the 144 megahertz. So, we're coming together, and that's what 144,000, I think, meant. It's all coded in the Bible. But, here we go. Okay, Ma'at. That was the original pharaoh, which was a woman, okay, that had to dress up like a man. And that reminded me of Mulan, that movie Mulan. I had a huge connection with that, and I bet a lot of divine feminines did also. And she also, in order to do something righteous for her people, had to cloak herself. So it has to do with a lot of even the 21 on the clock, the dismantling, and not the serious campaign, if you will, or push for keeping a family intact in our generations, because even whoever they are, the other opposite energies or whatever, knew that how powerful a family can get. So yeah, that was, since things are coming back into order and the matriarch is the original bloodline, so you divine feminine are pure. And I was told this by my divine masculine, that I am pure. He saw me and said, you are pure. And that's straight from a divine masculine's mouth, and this is the way they feel about you. So since you are the first to hold the birthright, this is basically divine masculine separating even and not using you is a huge part of him giving you back your crown, basically. Just part one, because then part two is he's going in and really going into towards that window of his soul. See here? I'm going to let you guys look at this because it's such a powerful image in my opinion. If you look, it doesn't look like, it does look a little desolate, but it looks like everything is going to be all right. See, they are, that's the window to the soul, but both. Divine feminine, all have been instinctually working towards letting go of these codependent patterns and understand what it be in position and crunch time, alone and with each other, helping each other. That's why it's so important to be in alignment with your higher self and share your insights. Whether you know book meanings or not, anyone can read a meaning in a book, but this is your insights are what's needed in the community. So Divine Masculine is working on his own right now, and through the separation, you should take advantage of it, because it's a gift in itself. You know, I wrote it here somewhere. He's new, but see, this is like Wonderland. We're so used to Wonderland. Oh, think of also the movie Fury Road, Mad Max. Like, look at the desert style. It's like we're also the Cheshire Cat, like I said, eerily laughing in the dark where you can only see the grin. That's how much we've integrated and accepted Wonderland for all of its nooks and crannies and turns and the way love may look. It's so many looks, but listen, he's new, but not new. See, you have things to thank him for. And the things you have to thank him for are the sacrifice he did. See, I have a couple things I'm going to read to you guys. So, let me see if you can see this. Dark Night. He literally is also going through Dark Night, and he's let himself be the Dark Knight. A scary looking guy towards you. Cold, scary, because, like I said, a lot of them said some stuff to you that weren't even true. May have said you weren't the one for them, but that isn't true. It also, the letting them, they had to do that because they needed to be alone, but also it shows that they're being a knight for that. But you're not scared, you know that you're used to these changes and self-reflection. So I drew a little picture. Let's see if you can understand this. And okay, watch. Here, let me just show you the picture first. So first I drew the sun. They see your light. See that little eye with the arrow? They see your light, and that illuminates their darkness inside. It says, your light heals by reflecting something disturbing to them inside, something about themselves that they found disturbing. And I tried to depict that in yours. Yours is like a little river canyon, like green hills, rolling hills, sound of music type scene with the water, of course, there, like an ocean river connecting into an ocean that moves into his side, Divine Masculine, and the moon. But see that little clearing where, say, rituals will be done? All of that, like 144 megahertz. It's in you, and it's making them understand it's in them. So showing me the powers I have within me by the powers I see in him. And then in the middle it says mirror. So the waters are both connected. I thought that was really cool, interesting. Another message, if you feel like drawing and scribbling stuff, you should do that. Okay, so here's another metaphor I was thinking earlier. So the fox, this is also out of the mouth of my Divine Masculine. He said, I'm outfoxing myself. I'm sorry. Like, when the last time I heard from him was a huge emotional peak for him and a bonding moment when he admittedly felt that he was scared of himself and that I deserved an angel, quote, angel. So this is where they're at, literally. Going through Dark Night and feeling like they have to self-reflect, and because they saw your light and it reflected, again, maybe things that disturbed them about themselves, they may have had to be a toxic person to survive, possibly. Okay, so either way, when we are in separation, it's an indication we both have work to do, and that's fine. Okay, because their light also heals by reflecting something disturbing to us inside, and also they're molding us through maybe something disturbing that they fed us, maybe a lie, which is usually never the case. And usually the lie is that they don't like you. That's the thing. Dark Night with a K-N, Dark Night mode. Healing begins. So the healing can begin for both, okay? So, again, the generational curses stuff will be lifted because, like I said, Divine Masculine, for his own soul responsibility, will do it for himself. Don't worry. If not for you, and trust me, he will get his birthright for him. And where he keeps you is in his heart, so stay there. when he wakes up to who he is and unites with you, Divine Feminine, it's over, and the people, ancestors, and people around them, the other side, the dark side, whatever you want to call it, knows that it's over. Everything after is getting the wool pulled off of it. You know, and they know she knows, the Divine Masculine knows, and she knows that you know as well. So all these deep family things have to do with DNA. Remember that. And they're realizing that the God-given Divine Feminine and birthright, all that will be for the highest good. And those are the best intentions, okay? Those are my notes. I thank you guys. And I have a little pile I should show you guys. Let's see. So Divine Masculine, you are stepping back in to your divine crown as well, birthright, by not fighting back, basically by not using your feminine, by even if it is by releasing and even saying something rude, just to be getting that separation pivotal point in set, underway. That's giving her back her power through your, though you're very wise, the scales have been over your eyes for a reason, and now more than ever people are waking up. And can you feel it, you guys? This is like different time. You could feel it. It's so real. So the birthright is awakening through you, and you giving back that matriarchal crown. So, and once that happens, it is ready to become time to become one. And don't think that you're going to be all the way done. You need to come together to be fully done. Fully growing and evolved. You guys are made for holy matrimony. He will come back for his bride without blemish, without spot. So reflect on that, and just remember, Divine Feminine has gone through her stage, cleansed by fire, Phoenix. Clear out any divorces, separations, paperworks, feminine, because this time next year you want to be clear for your new beginning. All right, in the near future we got also big happy changes, so you want to just be happy for that, and clear yourself. All right, the different people around you, I'm just reading my notes. Different people around you have been cloaking you, Divine Masculine, so you're also wisening up to that. I have some people for you to look up, Freya and Odin, and that's just some interesting, maybe not for some people, but, and also a little, I may butcher this poem, or saying, but I read this somewhere. A man saw, this is about a male's perspective, he saw something on a woman's face so profound when she was giving her vows, the way she looked at her Divine Masculine. He saw so much love in her that he knew it was enough to make the earth jealous, though the earth had the sun. And now, when you think about something like that, think of how many things would be jealous of this type of love. You have to protect it. You have to be wise. And also, Divine Masculine, if you think that you don't deserve the Divine Feminine, or for some reason it's her, but you're struggling with something within, internally, about earning it or whatever, what did the sun or what did the earth do to earn the sun? You have to think of that. Some things are just is, okay? And that's just the way they are. So think about that. Anyway, we had, these were really things that you thought you weren't sure about. You may have gotten messages. Your ships are coming in. There's a dog there, meaning loyalty. You're balancing, Divine Masculine. Also being strong. The skin color is also important in this. Connecting soulfully. You know how they say redheads have no soul, which is not true, but the redhead there is starting to connect because of the retreat. Is starting to trust. Say no to these demons, all these ancestral things, bringing you back into your birthright because you're uniting with the pure, pure bloodline. So let's explain that. So back in the day, tea time, back in the day, when the saying killing your firstborn was because the male masculine did not give up the power for Pharaoh. Something like this. You know, I'm a millennial. I'll have to read up on this stuff, okay? Been out of high school for a while. But, it was something to do with the masculine not giving up the power back into the female where it originally started. And even now, in these days in Egypt, the female is highly seen as, like, where the power came from. And, so that is where that saying came, or the actual stuff came from, killing the firstborn son, because of Ma'at even having to be the first pharaoh woman, having to be disguised as a man, and that's where it all began, stealing the rightful power, matriarchal power, to the matriarchs, the feminine. Back then, even for a male to, and I have this image, I don't know, I need to show you guys, for a male to find a woman of a pure descent bloodline, and I don't mean pure as in just one way, one race or the other, I mean pure, sacred, a divine feminine. In order, he had to find her, and he had to make her fall in love with him, and to be married into a sacred, like a very enriched, blessed future for his whole family too. And now the fact that he's giving it back to you, and this is the way it is because of this death, and I mean, just look at this card. Even the hand looks like people trying to, don't go, because he's so strong in himself. The divine masculines we're talking about have so much power that their family and ancestors want him. It's needed, could benefit them, but it's for their energetic benefit. They're taking his energy, and he's waking up to it. Trust. I even got the trust card somewhere along here. Okay, reconciliation. So see, he's not gonna be gone forever. I need you to know that. He needs you to know that. And thank God I looked over. Here is the rest of the reading. Like I said, it was an hour-long reading for good on time. And I even added more. So everything happens for a reason. And I blessed this, so none of us for knowing this, including me for saying it, can get hurt. Alright. We have liberation, overall energies, hope. Okay, basically just reiterating what everything was. And security, perfect. See, like I said right here, it's funny this stayed. I wanted you guys to look at that. I want to paint this. It's like the Mad Max Fury Road, desert scariness, but such a beautiful peace, you know, is coming. That peace could have only came after or before a storm, you know? And I think the storm we're ready for. We've already gone through the scariest part. Like I said, as Divine Feminine, we are the Cheshire Cat on the branch, smiling, happily grinning and laughing and disappearing away, and understanding that we're holding space while they release card. Look at all these dead ancestors that are probably confusing Divine Masculine, but now needed for release, for liberation from this. Look at the color gold. Look at this eagle. Noble and rare. It's like now they can't fuck with him. Pardon my French. They can't mess with him now. Why? Because he's seen the star. He has a North Star now. Even though he's looking away from it, he still has it on his mind. Let me see how this was. this spread was actually it was like that. Okay, so we have a Page of Cups, and that was already in the last pile, the Page of Cups. Where is that last one? There's more. Okay. Here we go. Let me get that. We got the Lovers, the Page of Cups, Temperance, the Chariot. Here we go. So this guy, right before the King of Cups, who he wants to be, and he knows he's going to lean towards being, no matter what birdie is on his ear, he's going to grow up and pick what he wants and be this guy with that trident. Okay? So we have the Page of Cups again. Message coming in. He's looking straight at you, Divine Feminine, right at your eyes. And he looks sad. You look just like not sure how to feel, but you're happy nonetheless to see him. But look at his face. Somber, but that's an offer coming in, okay? I'm sorry, this was the Seven of Wands. And we have the Three of Wands here. So someone that was thinking in the beginning over here, thinking, is now sure. Okay, look at also the rainbow, the bird that is on his shoulder now he's listening to now. It's a rainbow bird. It's a rainbow hummingbird. And before, the bird was a black crow type of thing, raven, which is all still okay, but I'm just saying, think about the color and dark messages, dark wants versus rainbow. You know, that's us, 4044 on the clock. And the Two of Swords, so really making him think, really getting advice, possibly from family. He could be on leave, thinking, asking for advice, and really taking thoughts into consideration. Okay, probably asking his father. And materialism, you know, the best thing that they could hear from their parents is that if they're still together, that divine masculine, that they want, all that the parents want for him is to possibly he'll find something like similar to what they have had in this material world. And that's what now you're hoping for, divine masculine. You're hoping for your Queen of Wands. You've got liberation from these ancestral curses that have been released upon you, and you are now knowing that this feminine is a loyal person, from a pure bloodline. Your divine touch, even with her, even in just texting, through just the knowing of her, now sparked this liberation from all these things. You have your North Star. You're now sparked healing, recovery. Okay, like this blazing the trail in rehab. Okay, knowing that when you're coming together, instinctually knowing what to do. Even that is to run away so you can make yourself better and prepare yourself. So take advantage, feminine, of this time. He is going in with wisdom, and that's what you need to do as well, divine feminine. You really need to go and use this time and learn your lessons, read, research, watch more, read more, so you can understand while he's in his isolation what he's doing. Also, how to help him, because in a lot of ways we are always going to be it'd be a benefit to be emotionally a couple steps ahead of our masculine so we can help them along the quest. See how in his quest now he's going back towards his inner child and saying, I'm sorry I left you, but look, I was in a dark adult world, and I'm here to pick you up and take you back and make it a light world. I'm going to take you back to the right way. I'm not going to carry you along somewhere scary. I'm going to tell you, you are fine and right to feel that way. And they're just doing inner work now to make everything brighter, okay, and more abundant. Because also, like I was saying, touching on, when they see you, divine feminine, they see you as having the effort, pure. He even said this, you're pure, you have passions, you care, you have passion. That's what he said. And he said he's a toxic individual. And look at drinking, also drinking and confused and not knowing how to get it out. She's using her tools. Religion is also tools, you guys. Using this to get into the treasures. Also, You may be the key, something he needs. That's why he's letting you know that he's perfecting himself. And even though you, Divine Masculine, you have to know that we aren't perfect until we're together, but you can transmute and grow, evolve enough. And also, Divine Feminine, he wants you to know that he sees you this way now. And we see you this way too. 4404 on the clock. We see past the illusion. Divine Feminine, you have gone so far. You have not come this far just to come this far. Okay? Energy just does jump. So just keep following the energy. You know what I mean? That's for romance. Another angel, Zaphiel, worth working with. There's the twin flames again. Okay. Grace. Working with Gabriel, the goose, the swan. 1 for 1, love, okay? Observe and remember the third energy when you see readings, Divine Feminine, 444 on the clock, and they say third party, blah, blah, blah. Do not fret. Please do not have those energies in the air, because what the third party is his higher self, angels, ancestors, good and bad, and they're releasing that. And this is secure. So call on angels, add kill as well. Archangels and secure. Look at this grid. There's enough Divine Feminines awake to make sure all the Divine Masculines feel connected enough and secure enough, even in the far reaches of time, okay, and space. So what we need to also observe is the spirituality stage threshold, and we're awaiting results. Right now, Divine Masculine is on a threshold platform where the matriarch is not respected that much, and that's why he's also going through this dark night of soul to heal and align back all these old energies and allow yourself, you Divine Feminine, to nurture yourself. Really nurture yourself. And if he comes back to you and he's not single, you're not a side chick. Remember that. You have to heal completely to reach that spiritual maturity. Okay, you guys? And really quick, I have this book, 12 Doors to the Soul. I had stopped a reading early before I could share this with you guys, but real quick, was just on Divine Masculine, what he's going through, and we landed on page 133. This is a page on Saturn, and this is the most, it says right here, most misunderstood planet. So that's funny that you know, you're thinking one way with tangible achievements, like an evidence of him, but don't misunderstand it. Again, with the fox in the last reading, where he's so sneaky, even understood that this could be all for the best, even in his conscious mind, not subconscious. Like, he could be doing this just to come back better, and that's pretty much what our reading has been saying. All right, so let's just see, blah, blah, blah. And it says right here, Naom, and I just went to the salon to try and get my hair done, which I ended up doing myself, but one of the people online where I could book with was Naom. So, hey, interesting. Okay. Just the interesting part I wanted to show you. Let's see one more. Ambassadors from the Galaxy. Interesting. Page 169. And that makes me think, yeah, ambassadors from the galaxy, like the Federal Galactic Fed, I feel are going to definitely protect and allow this message to get out. And almost like a test, like, do you feel, are you acting, not doing something on fear, or do you feel like maybe that was the opposite side, not having it let out? So I tried once more to let that out. Alright, you guys, so just for curiosities, I picked some bookmarks. And we have, oh my gosh, it was the fox card. I had this in my mind. I wanted to tell you guys, you know, the fox, when I was just talking about it a few seconds ago, that he's sitting on a knife, a sword. And he's kind of like, you can't really tell it's there, but that's on purpose. He's so sly, like a fox. So don't, that's confirmation. All right, he's coming back, and he knows what he's doing. Like I said, he's new, but he's not new. See, you have things to thank him for. Think about that. And the Hermit. You have things to thank him for, because now you can be a flame and learn how to be that with everyone watching, and still learn your internal boundaries, personal boundaries with the world out there, because they're trying to hurt us, trust me. You know, you have to be sorry, not sorry, about who you are. And you have a lot of time now, so take advantage to learn how to be that. Because when you're with your twin, it's really hard because you're just like so scared of losing them and all these other things that you can't really comfortably learn how to be yourself. So this is the time to nurture yourself and do that. I hope you enjoyed this reading. You guys, I love you so much. I actually am so happy and glad that happened the way it did. Remember, external forces, protect yourself, divine feminine, until your knight comes back. Finances and career. So he could be trying to get that money so he can. He doesn't even realize, though, that you have just as much blessings, like inheritance, that he will get, they will get. You have blessings that, though there may not be inheritance from your family, just as much, and that when you come together, they quadruple. Heart-to-heart conversations and worth waiting for. When you come back together, it's like you're going to get to know each other for real. The first time, both of you may have had ego, and both of you are struggling with things because of that. You're like, if I could have just said, would have, blah, blah, blah. But it's worth waiting for. It had to happen, and these are all because of romantic feelings, why ego was pressed on, and not even as much as it would have been in a regular karmic situation. So don't be so hard on yourselves, you guys. Okay? So that's why, that's why you felt it was unrequited love, but it's just the process of things. Okay, Goosebumps is here to say hello. 1 second. Let me see if I can get you guys some angel cards. What's divine masculine want us to know? Does Spirit have anything, messages? Father, husband, brother, son. That's the stuff he's working on. So trust. Trust. Time to trust, okay, guys? Energy healing. We're going through a healing of energy. And I landed on 50-50. Eyes on the clock. So, I'm sure I was enough today on my soapbox teaching you guys. Love you. Stay divine. Take care. Send love to your divine masculine. And really, it's about time we just laugh and have fun like the Cheshire Cat. Just eerily disappearing away. Love you. Bye, guys.
Open up your eyes, take a look at me. Get the picture fixed in your memory. I'm driven by the rhythm like the beat of a heart, and I won't stop until I start to stand out. Stand out. Some people settle for the typical thing, living all their lives waiting in the wings. It ain't a question of if, just a matter of time before I move to the front of the line. Once you're watching every move that I make, you gotta believe that I got what it takes to stand out above the crowd. Even if I gotta shout out loud, somebody's the only baby you see gonna stand out. So you notice me. Getting the crease. I'm totally devoted to disturbing the peace, and I'll do it all again when I get done, until I become your number one. No methods in the madness and no means of escape. Gonna break every rule, I'll bend them all out of shape. It ain't a question of how, just a matter of when. You get the message that I'm trying to send. I'm under a spell, I'm in over my head, and you know I'm going all of the way to the end. To stand out above the crowd, even if I gotta shout out loud. Somebody's the only baby you see gonna stand out. So you notice me, yeah. If I could make you stop and take a look at me instead of just, there's nothing that I wouldn't do if it was getting you to notice. All I need is half a chance, a second thought, a second glance of proof. I got whatever it takes. It's a piece of cake to stand out above the crowd, even if I gotta shout out loud. Your mind is the only face you see. Gonna stand out, hey, stand out, yeah, 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 stand out. Your mind is the only face you see. Gonna stand out till you notice me.